Assalamu alaikum everybody, peace be upon you all. Thank you for watching this now. And this is a bit of a spontaneous video. I thought I was doing the podcast today, and I've got the light set up, I've got the desk set up, I've got my computer here and the mic set up. So I thought I'll do a video here while I've got the lights on. I've just completed a podcast with a brother of mine. And this particular individual wants to remain anonymous, so I'm gonna respect his wishes. And in the video, he'll be blurred out. But I think there's a lot he was saying, and there's a lot that he could bring value to everybody else. So I thought I'd bring him on. It's not so important to know who the person is; it's more important what the person is saying. Most of the cases, anyway. But anyway, moving forward, I have put down some bullet points so that I remain on track of what I'm doing, because I need to be more organised. I don't want to be just blurting things out on the top of my head. I want to be more organised, more scripted. So the first thing we'll be talking about is the setup. Now the setup, I'll show you a B-roll of what I've got. It's nothing fancy. It's a very simple setup, and all I needed was a couple of lights, computer, mics, and somewhere to sit. And that brings me along with, I want to thank Safar Publications, especially Abdullah Mubin, for lending me his space free of charge. As soon as he found out that I was starting a podcast, because I initially started my first ever podcast at home. Now, it was a bit of a headache because it is a family home and my house is not really big anyway. I used my front room, I've changed the sofas around, and it was a bit of a headache. It took me about 2 hours just to set up the lights and sofas and all these things, just to make it look nice. But as soon as he heard that I was doing a podcast, and that's it. He gave me his keys, lent me his space. He showed me the area where I could do it, the options and everything else. I'm very thankful to Abdullah Mubin and Safar Publications for allowing me to use their space. So here I am. So far, the update on the podcast is I've done about a few podcasts, so 4 so far. I've got another 3 to 4 podcasts in line for the month of December, and I'm hoping to invite more people onto the podcast, from people from different backgrounds and expertise and specialities, to talk about what they're going through or what they can offer, what advice they can give, what suggestions and ideas that they might have to be implemented within the community and also in the wider community, in terms of nationally, and probably if this hits big, internationally as well. Because, well, let's not go into because I want you to watch the podcasts, watch people and listen to people, to what they're saying, and I'm just very curious about what they are going through and what their experiences are, what their struggles are, their effort in the community, their lack of probably effort in the community, because there's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions about the community, who have a lot of opinions about events and people and all these things, but there are very few people out there who are willing to do something about it. Now that could be because they don't have the courage to create a platform. They don't have the voice. Nobody allows them to come on. Who would pick them to speak? What value can they give? So that's what this platform is about. Is to give people that this platform and offer their suggestions, ideas, and also, if they're brave enough to, or courageous enough to share their struggles and hardships and how they overcame them as well, and what they went through, what sacrifices they made to achieve success or to achieve content, to achieve peace. That's what it is. Not everybody is looking for to be a millionaire or to be famous or to be a politician. They just want to have a simple life, live a simple life with their family, have a simple job, and be happy. Really, just be happy. Just be content with life and just move on. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. And the reason, well, one of the main reasons why this podcast sparked off. For many years, I have been speaking to a lot of individuals to start off a podcast. Now, I was not considering myself as the host, right? Never. That never occurred to me. I always thought, listen, I have the skills of editing. I am a filmmaker by profession, and I have the necessary equipment to create a studio setting, at least. I thought I just need a host. But what I found was, first thing, everybody's really busy. Nobody has time to do all these things, and and that's fair. It's okay. And also, I found that the passion level, the concern level that I have, was not. You can't pass that on to somebody else, and not everybody has that same passion and the belief that this could happen. So after years of trying to find somebody to partnership with and, just do something like a podcast, I thought I'd do it myself. I'm going to start off and just let us see where it goes. I'm not doing this to be famous. I'm not doing this to make a lot of money because, it's not. No, I'm doing this because it's needed, I think, in my hometown, in my locality, in the country that I live in, which I really care about, and the people that I care about the most. I care about people. I feel people's pain, and I sympathize with them. I empathize, and I can't just sit by and watch. It's not in me. It's never been the case. Even if it leads to my doom, I'm reluctant to just sit by and watch people suffer in silence, especially men and families out there, right? Men and women as well. I refuse to just sit by and not do anything about it. So this is just my way of, doing something. You know what I mean? Doing something. Because I've tried the traditional route where I join a institution or an organization believing that their policies and ethos is what's best for the community. But the thing is, people are people. They have agendas, they have opinions, and people who choose favoritism over the people, and I don't really like that, so I left. Yeah, so not going too deep into that. Gonna move on. I believe the West, where we live, right, and more in America, people's values are being attacked. Right, traditional men are being attacked. Women are given the false illusion that they have entitlement. You know what I mean? More than they deserve. Men are deemed weak because they have traditional values, and due to those reasons, men are being emasculated, and all this sort of cancel culture, woke culture. There's just how the media portrays men, how the media portrays women as well as to be very powerful, independent, because whatever that means, powerful, independent, and strong financial freedom. That's not the case. The whole meaning of that is lost. You need, because the family unit needs a man to fulfill his role and a woman to fulfill his role. Her role. And the values that the Western culture or the Western media culture, whatever it is, the Western world wants women and men to be, does not fit the narrative or does not benefit, and let's just keep it that, yeah, does not benefit the family unit, how to raise children, how to make them into strong men and women, and how to play your role within society and a community. Yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah. Moving on to the next point. If I'm not clear at certain points, you can definitely put comments in the suggestion. You can write a comment in the comment box down below, and tell me what I need improving, what I need to speak about more, what are the points that needs to be addressed. I'm all ears, mate. All ears. I am always welcome. I welcome ideas and suggestions, things that could be talked about and needs to be addressed. So just let me know. Now, though, obviously, I'm probably a bit late into this, but it's probably been like 6-7 weeks now where Elon Musk bought Twitter, and you know, I think if I'm correct, Elon Musk wanted to buy Twitter to save free speech. Now, how sincere he is, don't know, but he is someone who is an action maker. Not an action maker. No, what the hell am I saying? He's a doer. He says he does what he says, and he says what he does. He's someone who's very committed, very focused, and he can actually do what he wants. So, for someone like Elon Musk, who could be an evil genius, yeah, or an evil mastermind, to address these sort of issues means a lot. It means a lot, and because we know for a fact, YouTube, where this video is on, Twitter, Facebook is are somewhat biased. Where if you don't follow their policies, and if your message doesn't sort of correlate with their sort of message, then you're deemed as somebody who is extreme and offensive to people. So, feminism, do you want? Now there's other platforms out there who are trying to empower men, because obviously the only reason why these programs or these shows on YouTube have come up, because they've realized that there's a need to empower men. You know what I mean? Because how the whole thing works. So there's shows like Fresh and Fit, which I don't really agree with a lot of things, but that's what they're doing. There's Pearly Things. Don't really agree with her methods or anything else, but she has some good takes on things. But these shows have come up and popped up because men are being emasculated in the Western culture. Men are being deemed low, and they've been demeaned to such a level that they're nothing. You know what I mean? And from looking at from looking at it from their point of view, it makes sense. But it's not the whole case. It's not the whole case, because the thing that they encourage and what they teach and propagate doesn't benefit in the long run. Yeah, probably in the short term, to attain a date, to attain a wife who is submissive, based on their standards, right? Based on their standards. It's okay, but in the long run, to raise, as a family unit, to raise children and everything else, probably a different take, a different sort of reference is needed. You know what I mean? And I am trying to add in the teachings of Islam, the Quran and Hadith, and all these things into the thingy. I believe the Quran and Hadith has the answer to show us how a community works, how a society works, how a family unit works, how to raise children, how to live a life of content and happiness. and how to submit yourself to the Lord, where our Lord has all control. But that's obviously to each their own. You know what I mean? Okay, moving on to the next point. Yeah, I'm gonna touch upon this a little bit because this is one of my main, I don't know, drives, is men's mental health. Now, if I can bring some stats regarding depression, the suicide rate in 2000. So these are figured. The following figures are accurate as of 9th September 2022, where 524 people have died by suicide in 2019. 408 males, which is 78%, compared to 116 females, which is just 22%. That's a shocking stats there. Shocking stats. Just in 1 year. 524, 78% of them were males. Now, it's also said that females feel more depressed. It's also said that males are more likely to act on their suicidal sort of thoughts. I find that very interesting, very sad as well. And neighbours of mine have committed suicide years back. Somebody committed suicide, by jumping over the bridge. So why are they? Why are they? You know what I mean? So these are things I want to have a discussion with. I want to have answers for, and more so, I want to create something that people can approach and help and talk. We need to create an environment, a society where men can feel and portray and share what they're struggling with. You know what I mean? Men are very lonely creatures. They suffer in silence. They struggle, and it's deemed a taboo thing to share your feelings with somebody without being judged or being deemed weak. You know what I mean? So I believe we can, as a community, I can't do it myself, you know what I mean? I believe as a community, as a society at large, we can help ourselves and other people not commit suicide at the rate as how it's going right now. Okay, moving on to the next point is, what was it? Okay. There's one point where, because it's a family unit thing, children who have ADHD. Now, we've all been told by doctors, right, that ADHD is a disease. It can be inherited. But there's recent research, or there's a doctor or somebody who's feel it is. I will show you a video of that now.
ADHD, and a lot of the so-called experts say it's the most heritable mental illness there is. And I say it's neither an illness, nor is it heritable. Difficulty paying attention, the kind of tuning out, poor impulse control, difficulty sitting still. If I were to stress you right now, what would be your options of dealing with that?
I could either get upset or I could leave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could fight back, flight or fight, yeah? But what if you didn't have those options?
Then you're stuck.
And now what does the brain do when you're stuck like that? It gets tunes out.
Yeah, it tunes out.
In other words, it's a coping mechanism. Infants can't help but absorb the stress of their parents.
Right.
All we could do is tune out. But when is this tuning out happening? When our brain is being developed, the most salient feature of the environment that shapes us is actually the relationship with the parents. If the parents are present and emotionally attuned, child brains develop properly. If the parents are stressed, the child absorbs the stress. What can they do with it? They tune out. And that tuning out thing is programmed into the brain, and then 10 years later we say, you got this disease. No, you don't. You got a coping mechanism that's no longer working for you.
So you see, so this person is saying that due to the interaction of mothers and fathers and husband and wife, kids, either they have a fight or flight response. But when you're young enough, you don't have the fight in you, or you don't have the power to have the fight in you. You sort of go into this. You go out of tune. You tune out, not out of tune. You tune out, and you sort of go into this space where you do nothing. You blank out, which is it makes sense because he makes a lot of sense. So ADHD is something that could be deemed as not inherited, and it's not a disease. Probably, it's more likely, or in his opinion, more likely to be something that derives from the interactions of a husband and wife. In generally speaking, so something to think about. Anyway, okay, moving on to the next point. Yeah. I think I've already mentioned this. No, actually, I haven't. I haven't mentioned this. Now, I really want to find out. I don't have the answer for this, but the traditional way of marriage and modern day marriage. Now, I don't mean just in the Asian community, because flipping out, it is flamboyant. Very flamboyant and over the top. They're spending about 20, 30k, 40k, 50k even, right, on weddings. And you know what? 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the line, they're getting a divorce. And the divorce rate, let me just check up the divorce rate nowadays. Right, so it's saying here, just a quick Google, that so the question is, what percentage of marriages end in divorce in the UK? So it has often been said that 50% of marriages end in divorce. However, if you look at the past few years and decades of statistics, you can see the divorce rate is slowly decreasing. Some of the current trends, including as of 2021, the average divorce rate in the UK is 42%. So yeah, so I think what we're trying to say is that it's been rising, the divorce rate is rising, but in the last decades, over the last few decades, it's been a decrease of divorces at 42%. But still, it is still astonishingly high. That 42%, right? So from 50% to 42% of marriages end in divorce, right? Which is shocking. I think there's more research, more investigation, more because in the Asian community, the divorce rates are significantly lower. I don't have the stats for that, but I'm hoping to find what they are. But it's still happening. It's still happening. People are getting divorced more so than before. But moving on to the next point. Yeah. I've already talked about the cost of marriage. Flipping, 40, 50k for a marriage. What the hell, man? You might as well keep that money, yeah? Spend it on a house, right? Build your life up. Oh, what the hell? Mental. And also, the last point I want to talk about is, which is a scary thing to say, and I don't think this platform, as of yet, has the power to give people the accountability, to make people accountable for their actions. Mainly those people who are in the position of power, in a position where they can influence the mass, and I'm not just all about MPs and councillors. Those guys as well, but also in our local communities where we have local leaders, local individuals, let's just say. I don't want to name any, I don't want to put any categories there. Local leaders who have the platform to say what is needed and not just do what the board members, let's just say, want them you to do. It's like you're being controlled by a puppeteer, and you're the puppet. You know what I mean? You can't just mention, because I'm hoping to bring. I have booked an individual who is very influential in the community, and he has done tremendous work. And I'm having him on the podcast very, very soon to talk about the bribes that he's received, to not talk about certain topics, the influence he has over the community, and how he's been where he's been pressurized to be more compliant according to the policies. Let's keep it at that, yeah? Now, I'm nearly gone on to half an hour. I'm going to cut it there for now. And if you want to be on the podcast, I will be happy to have you on. Just give me a text or an email or DM me, write a message on the YouTube channel, and I will try my best to get back to you. And yeah, I hope this podcast platform takes off and give people the power, because we're giving it to the wrong people. We are electing the wrong people to represent us. We need to take power we need to have the power. We need to elect the right people to represent us where we can't speak. You know what I mean? So we need to be more organized. We need to have more people coming out, speaking the truth, because nowadays the truth is becoming irrelevant. And that hurts me. That really hurts me. If we don't fight for the truth, who else will? So guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And Assalamu alaikum. See you guys.